Coming up on the Greg and Tim Show podcast.
I love the show The Office. I might have watched 5 episodes in my life. I'm not a massive fan of Halloween, personally.
Yeah, you're not a candy guy.
It's like,
He tells a story in the book about how he one time beat up Justin Trudeau.
I like George W. He always said America.
America.
You're on the drive home. Oh, I feel so gross. The diet starts tomorrow. I feel so gross. And you end the vacation. If you didn't notice, I'm trying to make a very concerted effort to talk right into this thing so people don't give me flack. And by people, I mean you.
Get your earballs ready, and welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Greg and Tim.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It is the Greg and Tim Show podcast, and this is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything and some things. And I'm Greg, and my co-host, my other half of the show, the co-founder of the show, the color and color commentary is
Timothy Paul Sanderson. Did you know Paul is my middle name? Did you know that? Paul.
I did.
Middle name.
TP.
TP.
That's why I call you TP every now and again.
My dad's name is Paul Michael Sanderson.
TPS, like the TPS reports on Office Space.
That's right.
What was that guy's name? Something Burger. Oh, man, it'll come to me later.
Hamburger.
Yeah, can you get me those TPS reports? You know that guy.
Are you going to go ahead and have those TPS reports for us this afternoon?
No.
Honestly, you know what? I'm telling you, The Office, I said this before. I love the show The Office. I might have watched 5 episodes in my life.
You're talking about something totally different than I am.
I just binge watch.
Do you know what Office Space is?
Oh, Office Space.
Office Space.
Also a show that I watched one episode of.
Well, there is only one episode as it's a movie.
I did. I think I watched it once.
Lumberg? Bill Lumberg. Yeah, Lumberg does the whole, I'm not even sure I come in on the weekend.
I'm not even sure I watched that movie the whole way through.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It's a good movie. When they beat up the fax machine.
I remember seeing parts of it. I just don't think I've seen it the whole way through.
Interesting.
But anyway, thanks for checking us out. We got a great show for them today.
Yeah.
And for you today, too.
I get to have part of the show. I'm going to enjoy it.
We have the usual suspects, such as sports talk, entertainment chatter.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And we're going to talk about why people dislike some certain sports teams. Like, the ones that Matthew likes.
Why they love them, why they hate them. There's certain clubs teams that people either love or they hate.
And they have like a cult following, but then anybody that's not in the cult absolutely despises those teams.
It's not like the Milwaukee Brewers.
No.
Not a lot of people completely love them and nobody hates them.
Does anybody love the Milwaukee Brewers?
Well, you could argue.
Maybe people from Milwaukee. If there's anybody watching from Milwaukee, I apologize already.
Remember in the 80s when they had Molitor, Yount, they had a bunch, they were a really good team.
Those are the only two guys you can recall.
No,
they had a really good team. They had Molitor.
No, they did.
And Yount.
Billy, can you get me the top 4 players? There was a couple other really big
like
name
the
players.
1990.
No. Early
Milwaukee
80s. Early
Brewers.
80s. The 1980.
Well, Paul Molitor was the 90s.
No, he started in the 80s.
I know, but
in Paul Molitor's rookie year, Billy, who were the big players for the Milwaukee Brewers? And what was Paul Molitor's rookie year? He didn't start in the 90s. He was quite a bit older.
I didn't say he started in the 90s, but you think Yount and Molitor were big in the 90s.
They were big in the 80s.
Because then he joined the Jays in 93.
I think the Brewers won a championship, too, back in the day.
I have no clue about that. So.
Back in old County Stadium.
Anyway.
Apparently we have American viewers.
We have a lot of American viewers.
So maybe some American viewers can tell us all about it.
He played for the Brewers from 78 to 92.
78? He was 92. Already a Brewer. And tell me, in 81, tell me they're big players.
This segment's taking forever. This is just the opening.
I remember that. I watched baseball. I go back watching baseball further than you do.
We're like 4 minutes in already.
Sometimes they'll say things like the 85 Jays. You're like, Bell, Barfield, Mosby? Who's that?
Fernandez.
Yeah. The notable players in the 1981 teams were Cecil Cooper.
Cecil Cooper.
Cecil.
Cecil Cooper. Okay.
John Money.
He's Money.
These are all
Actually, Money was a good player.
These are all very famous players. Go on.
He was a good player.
Ted Simmons.
Ted Simmons.
Caldwell.
Mike Caldwell.
Robin Young.
Robin
Yount.
Yount.
We
He
talked
doesn't even know
Yount.
the name. He's been listening to the whole show. Robin Yount.
Ben Ogilvy.
Ogilvy.
Yeah.
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 Ogilvy.
We had a good
He
team.
was.
Okay, we can stop naming.
Yeah.
But you can check. You can get back to it. But check the Brewers won a
We might
championship
have
in
to
the
just
early
cut
80s.
that whole part right out because
I actually used to watch the Brewers back in the day. The Brewers and the Expos. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going way off topic.
We have another segment, new segment this week. We've been introducing new segments. So we had this and that. We had overrated, underrated. We had 30 questions for Greg. We've had something you don't know about Tim. There was another one. What did we do on the road trip?
Oh, we did overrated, underrated.
No,
Yeah, we did on the trip. We did overrated.
that was overrated, underrated on the
Yeah.
trip.
That's right.
Oh,
Remember Taylor
right.
Swift?
Okay. Yep.
And I took
And
I took the underrated.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody really commented on that.
I commented.
Taylor
You're
Swift. Yeah,
wrong.
but other like smarter people.
Yeah. There's a blank space between those ears.
By the way, today if you didn't notice, I'm trying to make a very concerted effort to talk right into this thing, so people don't give me flack. And by people, I mean you. So I'm gonna just stick right here, like my head's on a swivel. Because last week my daughter gave me heck, and you gave me heck. So I'm just gonna stay right here. I even considered getting some blue painter's tape and just rubbing it around my head, just to see that I was serious about making your life.
So the new segment that we've got coming up is called Two Truths and a Lie, which will be, I guess, about me, because I'm going to tell you two truths about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lie once.
And usually it's actually
two lies and a truth
for Mr. Greg. But because that would take a lot more work, we decided to make it two truths and lie, which sounds a lot better.
And then we have the topic of the day.
Topic of the day
Tim's bringing this one to the table today.
Is my favorite subject, and that's vacations.
Yeah.
The ideal amount of time to spend on vacation.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree, and what science says. And we know science.
Science is never wrong.
Science is never wrong. It's not a fickle fella.
It sounds like a ton of fun, Tim. So let's grab your favorite beverage.
I have some strange tasting tea.
It's cookie dough.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I have coffee because I went with safe. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Grab your phone. It's podcast time. It's the Greg and Tim Show. It's the Greg and Tim Show.
Greg and Tim Show. Greg and Tim Show. We should get like a whole bunch of people together and get them to chant Greg and Tim. Greg and Tim.
Which one do you want?
Greg and Tim. So just while the opening was happening there, Billy told us that the Brewers had never won a championship. So that's a lie.
Whoa,
Timmy.
Just a minute.
I know.
Just
You're
a
going to
minute.
say, I didn't know. Doesn't matter.
I was 5. I thought they won a championship in 81. It was actually 82. They won the pennant. They got eliminated by the Orioles. Billy, who is a master of Google.
He knows how to Google.
He made it clear that they won a pennant in 82.
Google.
It was a really good team.
He's Googling over there as we speak.
He's Googling and playing with Play-Doh.
Googling.
You want to say Googling another time? Google. Google.
Episode 9. Episode 9. Did you know that 9 is my favorite number?
I didn't know that, but now you can't use it in the two truths and a lie.
I'll have to change that one.
Bobby Hall.
Bobby Hall was number 9.
Yeah.
Brady Anderson. Do you remember Brady Anderson? Do you know who that is?
Just a sec. Brady Anderson. No.
He was the center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And there's a lot of number 9s that were very, very famous back in the day. But anyway, what were you up to this week?
This week was fantastic. We went for our annual, I think, 5-day stretch that we do at Elkhorn Resort, close to Clear Lake there, right across from Clear Lake. And my wife and I, just the two of us, go and
just hung out,
went for some hikes and sat around the fire, watched movies, other things.
Your wife worked? I saw her work set up there.
She did. She was there for one day, one and a little one day and a couple hours the next day.
for work.
So for
Yeah.
work, yeah.
You know who I met this week?
I do, but why don't you tell the viewer?
The viewer. I got to meet.
Let's give them hints.
Okay. He was named after a video game machine because of the amount of times he used to bounce around the offensive line. He is a Grey Cup winner as a coach and a player. He is a motivational speaker, and he came while I was in Toronto to our conference to motivationally speak to us. His name is
Pinball Mike Clemens.
Michael Pinball Clemens. That is true. He was a great speaker. He had this thing where he would tell us to say spot after he said sweet. So he would do like sweet, and then we'd have to do spot. Then he'd go sweet, and we'd have to do spot. So, and then he got us all to look at each other and say, "You are phenomenal." It was a very rousing, positive speech. He remembers these poems by people like Prince EA and other people, where he just recites them like they were written by him, and they're probably like 2 or 3 minute poems. He's a very good speaker. So I got to see him while I was in Toronto. We went out for Halloween and did some family photos. So that was our week.
Our kids now for Halloween, they're older.
Yeah.
I wasn't even around last night. I was working.
Yeah.
But I think your kids are younger, so they're going to enjoy going trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
My kids.
They enjoy it. It was cold, but they enjoyed it. It was good. They didn't get as much candy, so...
It seemed like there was less and less trick-or-treaters this year. I would go on social media and they'd say, nobody's around, not many people. It was shorter. People would go... I remember when you were growing up, you'd go for 3 hours at a stretch.
Yeah.
Now it's like 45 minutes and they're done.
The only thing that I really love about it is the dad tax.
Right.
And because of the recession, taxes have actually increased.
I'm not a massive fan of Halloween personally.
Yeah, you're not a candy guy.
It's like, let's go around to all of our neighbors and collect sugary treats that are not really good for us in any way, shape, or form. And let's see if we can get as much as we can and collect it in a big barrel. And that's not even talking about the other aspect of it. But
yeah. Anyway, let's move on to...
I'm trying to say controversial things. Because whenever we say controversial things, we seem to get bump in numbers.
You're just never controversial.
I kind of stretched that one. I kind of said that on purpose.
Let's move on to this first topic that we got going on. Well, we're going to start out with topic number 1. We're going to dive right into...
I'm just going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Just for 1 minute.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise. Okay. I'm terrified that we're going to forget again for another episode. And this is completely Billy's fault because he's been away for a couple of weeks. But we have not talked about our sponsor.
Okay.
And I don't want to skip to topic 3 and be a topic 5 and all of a sudden forget it, because this is very, very important. I want to talk about our sponsor.
Okay.
And that is
Blu Element.
Blu Element, yeah.
The Blu Element.
So when we introduced this the sponsor here, I talked about my cell phone, right?
Yeah, with your case and everything.
And at the time, I'd gone for like a 1 run, but I really hadn't had a chance to really have experience with it. So since then, I've been to 7, 8, 9 runs out of town, in town. It's been great. And
nothing's happened to your phone.
No, and it seems to have the same protection I used to have, but it's just so much less bulky.
Yeah.
Like fits in my pocket. It used to like bounce around and be running, and it's really, I have to hold it in my hand.
So did you know that Blu Element has a whole bunch of other cases as well? They have folio cases for your phones. So you can actually like have a wallet case and your phone will magnet in and out of the wallet case.
Yeah.
They have that drop zone case, which I'll show a video right now of them dropping that phone from a drone.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's pretty good. That's science right there.
Like the fact that it survived is pretty awesome. They are still giving our viewers 15% off on all their purchases. And right now you go to Blu Element, so BluElement.com, and use the code Greg and Tim. The and is the and symbol, so Greg and Tim, one word, with the and symbol in the middle, or you can just click the link below, right underneath there, and they can get 15% off their cases, and they got some pretty sweet cases. I think you're happy with yours.
Oh, I'm very happy.
And Blu Element.
My wife got a new case too.
Yeah.
She would be very happy if I told her to get she asked me what kind of phone she had. It's an S22, and it was an S21. My fault.
So her case doesn't fit?
The case doesn't fit, so we have to reorder another one. That's my fault, not their fault.
So, got the sponsor out of the way there. We're going to go on to topic number 1 today. And, with topic number 1, it's kind of a sad topic to me. Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry has passed away. Not really a surprise to most people, given his health and his conditions and everything he's gone over in the last few years. But as he said, when I pass away, it won't be a surprise, but
I say in the book that if I did die, it would shock people, but it wouldn't surprise anybody.
So I have 2 thoughts about this, and one is about health and one is about fame.
Yeah.
First of all, question for you. Everyone says most people say they want to be famous. Oh, I could just be famous.
Yeah.
Would you like to be famous?
That's a tough one.
Everybody knows your face. Everybody knows your name. I
can't go anywhere.
I go on social media. People are mean. When someone's a celebrity, they say mean things. It's crazy. I just can't believe some of the stuff they say.
Some people are mean in person too, though.
Yeah, but if most people have a certain level of decorum if they walked up to you or whatever in a social setting, and if they might think you're a jerk, but they're not going to say something. But in public, you have that certain amount of decorum. On social media, it's just like it's almost like if you're famous, you don't have feelings. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Like the celebrities read mean tweets on Kimmel, I think it is.
And some people have thick skin, but it's hard, right?
It's tough. I know that I read Matthew Perry's book, and he was very much. He had a rough life. Yeah. Like he grew up with a single parent for a little while. His mom actually worked for Justin Trudeau. I don't know if you know that.
Well, he's Canadian, but I didn't know that.
And Matthew Perry actually grew up with Justin Trudeau. Really? He was 2 years older than him. And he tells a story in the book about how he one time beat up Justin Trudeau. And somebody posted on Instagram the other day about him talking about this story on a talk show. And of course, it's all the Trudeau haters that are just like commenting, like, "I love this guy. This guy's the best." But yeah, he grew up with Justin Trudeau. And did you know that his stepfather is Keith Morrison?
Oh, the anchor, the CTV News.
I think he was Dateline or something. He was an American anchor.
I think he started in a Canadian, then he went.
Yeah. So Keith Morrison, I think I saw in the news that Keith Morrison actually broke the news to Matthew Perry's dad in the driveway when everything had happened. And sad. Like I said, I read his book. There's so much stuff that he went through, and it seemed like he had turned a corner, and he was starting to help out other people that were going through addictions with Matthew Perry House. He was doing a lot of things that were good, and it's really too bad.
Yeah, and like I said, the second thought I had was concerning health. It's like, and you're right. It's sad because he was at a time where he was. I think what he said. I think I saw in an interview. He was saying, addictions. They don't care if you're famous. They don't care if you're. They just like whatever. And he said he would be on Friends, and everyone loved him, and he was dealing with some of these things.
Yeah. There's actually 2 seasons he doesn't remember recording.
Yeah, that's insane. But it's just crazy that some of these things that. Sometimes we choose things in life and we choose them when we're young, and then we come back to ourselves later on, and some of those things linger.
Yeah.
those choices that we make. So I'm constantly cognizant of, what am I putting in my body?
Yeah.
And it's scary because sometimes people don't even choose things. People happen environmentally for their health, and they don't even realize it affects them. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were saying, something that happened to them when they were 5, it stays kind of in you, and it presents itself later in life, and you don't even realize it. So can you imagine, someone like Matthew Perry spending years putting drugs into your body, what that does to you?
And the thing was, it wasn't even his choice. Again, like I said, reading the book, you find out a lot of things about this, but he was recording a movie with Salma Hayek, and he had an accident riding on a Sea-Doo or a jet ski. And from that accident, he was actually prescribed painkillers to get over the pain. And these painkillers were addictive. Yeah. And that's what actually started him down the road of his addiction. And, he got the high from them, and he felt that he needed them. Yeah. And he was addicted to a lot of things. He says in interviews that when you watch Friends, when you see him at his largest, he was drunk or an alcoholic. Right. When you see him at his smallest is when he was on pills. Yeah. So.
And sometimes fame gives you more access to those things too, and it actually makes it 100%. Worse rather than better. You think about someone like Elvis. I think about someone like Michael Jackson. Same thing. They're prescribed things, and I think there was lawsuits with physicians after some of these incidents. Right? Do you remember there was a movie that Matthew Perry made a movie with Chris Farley? Was the last movie that Chris Farley ever made.
It was the Western movie.
Yeah. Maybe Billy can get the title of that movie. It's just slipping my brain at this time. But that was the last movie that Chris Farley made. Yeah. That Matthew Perry was on. Now Matthew Perry's doing a movie, then he passes away. So Almost Heroes.
Almost Heroes.
I remember one scene with a nest and an egg, and he has to get the egg, and it keeps breaking. Chris Farley's egg keeps breaking on the way down, and at the end,
that's another guy I miss, man. Yeah, Chris Farley.
And at the end, he's like, "Oh, he had to keep going up, and he kept getting beat up by this eagle." And at the end of it, he said, "Oh, the lady cracked the egg, and I just needed the what was inside of it." So he's like, "Oh, I could have just brought the broken egg the whole time." Anyway, I just thought of that now, but again, super sad.
Yeah, Let's move on to something a little bit more positive. Let's chat about sports a little bit.
Let's chat about sports.
Everybody loves the sports. So one of the topics that you had, that you brought up to me, and I think I know where this is coming from, is why people dislike certain teams and why people love the exact same team.
Yankees, Lakers, Golden State, especially when they were winning all those championships in a row. Cowboys,
the
Leafs, Montreal. It just seems like everyone. Bulls back in the Jordan days.
So I have a question for you. So I know where this is coming from. The Leafs, the Cowboys, and the Yankees. I would look at those 3 teams as the teams that are always loved by certain people and always absolutely despised by everybody else. Right. So let's say 20% of the population loves these teams, loves these teams. And then the 80% of the population cannot stand these teams. Do you think, and you said some other teams, do you think really that in basketball, the Warriors, the Bulls, and the Lakers, do you really think that those teams fall into the same category as the Cowboys, the Yankees, the Leafs?
The team like the Warriors, once they stop winning, nobody's going to care. I remember the Golden State Warriors of the 1990s, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, so nobody really loved them. Well, I really like Tim Hardaway.
So those are more bandwagon style teams then, right? Like the New England Patriots, for instance. People loved the New England Patriots and hated the New England Patriots.
Right.
But the Cowboys don't win anything.
Right.
And people still absolutely love them.
Right. They're not terrible.
They're not terrible, but they're not.
They have won in a while.
There's a reason people don't like the Patriots because they win.
Yeah. And now they don't win.
So nobody cares anymore. Yeah. Right? People don't like the Cowboys because of their fans.
Right. You could throw the Eagles in that too, as far as their fans.
Yeah, but the Eagles fans are only in Philadelphia. You don't get the sprawling Eagles fans like you do.
I don't know. I tend to disagree with you on that one, but
There may be some, but there's it's not sprawling like the Cowboys. Like Matthew, our friend, always says, the Cowboys are America's team.
I think it's pronounced America.
America's team.
America's team.
There are Americans that watch here, so let's be careful.
Well, I like George W. You always said America.
America. George W.
I love
Did you see him?
People don't like George Bush. I love George W.
Did you see him throw out the first pitch the other day for the World Series?
I didn't.
He had a really good first pitch after 9/11. This one was like in the dirt, bouncing, and Pudge Rodriguez actually caught it. They got Ivan Pudge Rodriguez to
Did he
be the
throw a
catcher.
strike?
No, he did not. He threw a ball that would have been a ball even in Pee Wee baseball.
Catchers of all time, Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge Rodriguez.
Better than some.
It is better than some.
Hey, by the way, did you see Flavor Flav's national anthem at the Milwaukee Bucks game?
I didn't.
Okay, so you've got to throw it up there and do a little bit of a clip on it, and tell me. My friend says it's not that bad, and I was like, I think you just have a certain expectation of Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
And because
did he have the clock on?
It is kind of bad, but I think it's like you expect it maybe to be minus 100, and it's only minus 50.
It's not as bad. It's not Roseanne Barr bad.
Anyway, listen to it for a bit and tell me what you think. It's not very good.
You know what? Roseanne Barr set that bar. She killed
Worst
it.
national anthems. That'd be a good segment, which we don't have time for.
No. Maybe another time we'll do a top 10 list.
Okay, let's talk a little bit.
Can that be a little bit of a segment, a top 10 list?
It can be for sure. So for about sports, Jays are gone. Jets are doing okay. They're doing okay. They're playing well. They're not winning. They lost 2 in a row in overtime, a single point.
As of recording right now, we're 4-3-2.
And I think you could argue we could be 5-2 or something like that based on some of the performances we've had.
Could be 6-3 even.
Yeah, not bad. However, let's just delve into the Bombers a little bit because they are the team that is in the playoff scenario. Season's going to
got a bye week ahead,
and things have been going well under the Zach Collaros era, and we don't know if we're going to win this year. It's between Toronto, Winnipeg, and BC, in my opinion. We'll see how we do. Question for you, Greg. Because Zach Collaros is, 37 years old?
I don't know his age. Man, we're using Billy all day today.
35. He's 35 years old. And
I think we have him for 2 more years, right?
We have some backups on our team that I argued to you that these players could be starters on another team. Drew Brown.
I don't think I argued with you about that.
Or at least we talked about this.
I think you told me and I said yes.
So Drew Brown and Johnny Augustine.
Augustine, I don't understand why he's here.
And it's funny because I didn't even know that before this year Augustine was Canadian. Like you told me that. I thought he was American for the longest time. But those 2 players, could they be starting for another team, and will they be gone? And how long how long is Collaros going to play?
Yeah.
And who replaces him? Right? That's the question that I had. What do you do with these players?
I think that Drew Brown, this might be his last year with the Bombers, and he might get picked up by another team. But I think the way the Bombers have developed their front office and their their football operations, a guy like Drew Brown may go to Toronto next year. Not Toronto. Let's say he goes to Calgary next year because Calgary sucked this year.
Saskatchewan.
Say he goes to one of those 2 teams, right? I think that in 2 years when Collaros retires, that he will have a really good chance of re-signing here if we still have the same football operations.
Right.
And that's the nice thing about our team is that they're developing players to want to be here. They're not just putting people in here that are, fly-by-night guys. They have guys here that want to be here. And you can see that from Bailey signing, Lawler signing, like Augustine staying. Like, there's a lot of players that have stuck around with limited playing time. And Bailey, you can argue up until this year, he played second fiddle to a lot of guys. And he's as good, if not better, than some of those guys now. So
Bailey, remember? Grey Cup, Calgary.
Waved my flag.
Waved your flag.
He was awesome.
Got a selfie with him.
He's still awesome.
Hey, can we throw the selfie up?
Yeah, let's throw the selfie up. And just a quick thing about Bailey, and then we'll go on to the next thing. He is super awesome. He interacts on social media. I don't know if it's because me and him have talked in the past, but he's always humble, and he's always energetic, and great person altogether. So anybody that doesn't follow Rashid Bailey, follow Rashid Bailey. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Sounds like a guy we should talk to on the podcast.
Hey, we should maybe bug him.
Yeah.
Rashid, hey, we'll reach out.
Does he listen?
Our people will call your people.
Does he listen?
Well, we'll find out.
Okay. I thought you might know.
I'll send
you send me analytics all the time.
Yeah.
I thought you'd know all the bombers that
I do
that
not
follow our podcast.
Anyways, Tim, this topic is a topic that you brought up that you wanted me to talk about, and I don't know if I should take it as an offensive thing or not offensive, but I'm going to go with it. This topic is called, Billy.
Billy, you're a very busy man.
He's so busy. Last week he gave me so much grief about having to make that intro.
That he's playing with his Play-Doh, which isn't Play-Doh, it's, what did you call it, Billy?
Sticky tack.
It's sticky tack.
Okay.
It is sticky tack.
Billy, make an intro for this.
Billy,
it's called
Billy's playing with sticky tack.
Two Truths and a Lie.
Time for two truths and a lie. Looking forward to this one.
Sticky tack.
Okay, so I got 4 different scenarios here, and I'm going to tell Tim 2 truths and 1 lie. I'm going to see if he knows, see how well he knows me.
And if I get all 4, I win $100,000
in rupees. I don't know how much that is in rupees, so no, you don't win anything.
I think you said roofies for a second.
Roofies? You win $100,000 worth of roofies.
That's actually worth $100,000. Sell that on the street.
So I'm going to give you...
I barely know what a roofie is.
Here's the first one. Let me...
$1,600.
$1,600, and I will not give you any of that. Okay, here's the first one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I fixed jet engines when I finished school. I bowled a perfect game when I was 17. I was a bat boy for the Bantam Baseball Western Championships.
You were the Bantam. The last one is a lie.
Incorrect.
Oh.
I have never bowled a perfect game.
Okay.
Yep. So
I'm
far,
over 1. I'm writing it down.
And now you lost that $1,000 and 600 whatever.
I'm not getting that. I'm not giving that to you.
You're not getting any of it. Number 2.
Okay.
I used to love line dancing at Silverado's on Jefferson. I love Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals, especially The Phantom of the Opera. I once juggled during the Disney parade in Disney World.
Say them one more time.
I love line dancing at Silverado's on Jefferson back in the day. I love Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals, especially Phantom of the Opera. I once juggled during the Disney parade in Disney World.
Phantom of the Opera.
Incorrect.
Oh!
I dislike line dancing with a passion. It is
Wait, there's so many specifics in that one. I was at Jefferson, Silverado's, and I liked it.
To tell you something,
yeah.
I've seen Phantom of the Opera twice at the Centennial Concert Hall.
I've never seen Phantom.
Both with my mom and once with my grandma.
Didn't they made it like a...
It's so good. It's a movie.
Yeah, they made
if you watch the movie, it's the actual play.
Right.
But done in movie form.
Yeah, same thing with Jersey Boys.
Yeah, I don't know if Jersey Boys is like the play recorded, but the movie is an actual movie
done
the exact same way as the play, but it's not It's not a recording of the play, if
Right.
that makes sense.
0 for 2.
0 for 2.
0 for 2.
When I gave Lorraine these, I think she got 3 out of 4, and she told me that they were too easy. So
I'm not married to you.
I
I
know.
didn't experience all of these with you.
So here's a good one. Let me see if you can figure this one out. I have met 2 of these 3 people while on vacation. Chris Bosch after a Miami Heat game in a restaurant called Yardbirds in South Beach. Evander Holyfield in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay after losing my brother for a night. Adam Sandler in Toronto at the Harbor Castle Hotel when I was there for a sales conference.
Sandler.
That's correct. Ding,
And,
ding,
and
ding,
it's only
ding.
and I knew the first 2. You've told me the first 2.
Yeah, I told you.
So
the stories of
I
the
went
first
with
2.
the one you've never told me as 1 for 3.
1 for
I'm
3.
batting-
So you knew that
I'm
one
batting
because
333. That makes me a Hall of Famer in baseball.
Yeah. Okay.
Last one.
Last one.
Let's roll.
Let's see if you're Bo Bichette or Santiago Espinal. Number 4. My first cell phone was a Samsung flip phone. My first car was a 1991 Chevy Cavalier. My first house was a side-by-side house in Stonewall, Manitoba.
Oh, I don't know any of these. This is a complete guess.
That's why they're 2 truths and a lie. If
Okay,
you knew the answers.
Say them again.
My first cell phone was a Samsung flip phone.
Likely.
My first car was a 1991 Chevy Cavalier.
Probably.
My first house was a side-by-side house in Stonewall, Manitoba.
I have absolutely no clue. And this goes from anywhere from Santiago Espinal to
Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette, who did not hit 500.
He did not hit 500. That's correct.
So I have to just take a complete
Yeah.
shot in the dark. Side by side in Stonewall.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, bo.
So that was
2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie.
I started off slow, 0 for 2, and then the last 2 I heated up big time, 2 for 4, which is pretty. Oh, and your wife only got 3 for 4, and I got 2 for 4.
But you knew one of them.
Yeah.
Because
2 for 4.
You knew the 2 truths.
All we need to know.
And the 4th one you guessed.
It doesn't matter.
If it was
It
6
doesn't
truths and a
matter.
lie, you probably wouldn't have gotten
2 for
it.
4 is pretty respectful.
Yeah.
True respectable.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get the other ones.
Oh, the problem is they could have all been
Yeah.
possible scenarios, right? So I like that game. We'll
was
play
fun.
that game every week for the
Every
next 10
week.
weeks.
Let's hit the outro music.
And that was 2 truths and a lie. Back to you, Greg and Timothy.
2 truths, 1 lie. So, Timothy, we are going. Oh, we have outro music for 2 truths and a lie, and then we have the intro music for topic of the day.
And it's not the same.
It's
Not
not.
the same music, right?
No, it's 2 different
Totally
things.
different music.
Yeah, let's roll the intro music for topic of the day.
Intro. Okay, hooray! It's time for the topic of the day.
Yay! Hooray! Topic of the day. Ding.
How am I doing today, Greg? With talking into the mic.
Well, I don't have headphones on. Billy, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Was that?
Oh, he's like
Okay,
78%.
I think I'm.
so
up, I think I'm up
7.8.
to. I think I'm up to an 8 out of 10.
7.8.
Did you say 8 out of 10 for my
7.8.
ability the talking?
7.85.
7.85.
We don't round up around here, though.
Yeah, I'll take it. 7.85. If I got that on a test in math in high school, I'd be just walking up the streets of gold and chanting hoorays.
So, Tim, what is your topic of the day today? I think we talked about it on the opener. Can we refresh everybody?
Something that's close to my heart.
Yeah.
And yours too, something you're still paying off from last year. And that's that's
It's true.
and that's vacations.
I think the reason why I'm still paying it off is one of the things we're going to talk about.
So when we were doing our trip to Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago, or 3 or 4, I think it was a month ago or something like that.
It was a while ago, yeah.
You were asking me about what I did on my vacations, and I didn't really understand the question. So I was talking about what I did when I was driving down for vacation.
Yeah.
So I didn't answer it. We didn't talk about that the way I think you wanted me to talk about. And so we're talking about habits on a vacation.
Yeah.
And also adding to that, length of vacation. 2 years ago, we took almost 8 weeks, my wife and I, and we went to the States, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, and we spent 2
8
months.
weeks?
Yeah, it's like it was
Wow.
almost 7.5 weeks.
It didn't feel like you were gone at all.
Yeah, well, yeah. I wasn't up to my 5 years left on your on your contract, so you didn't care too much.
No, didn't care.
But there's a couple of schools of thought on this. Science would tell us. I've read articles that say you shouldn't take a vacation for longer than 3 weeks because you change all of your habits, and it's very difficult to get back into your habits when you come back. Also, people will have said that I've read that a vacation should be 8 days, and you should take more vacations instead of longer vacations because science will say after 8 days, your enjoyment level peaks at 8 days, and after that it plateaus and goes down. So those are the two things science says. The first thing I wanted to talk about is, do people? I'll talk about my experience in a second, but do you get out of your daily habits when you go on vacation?
Yeah, like when I go on vacation, I try to maintain some form of habits. When I go away for work, I get out of the daily habits.
Right.
But I'm gone for work for only 2 days usually, so I don't get out of the habits extreme.
Yeah.
But yeah, like on vacation, I do my best to try to stay in those habits. But it is tough when you're eating out and you're, you don't have the comforts that you have at home.
I find that when people go on vacation, they just like go crazy. Like, we're on vacation. Let's throw caution to the wind. My life is boring. Let's do everything the opposite. Let's overeat every day, every meal. Let's not exercise. It's Sunday. We won't go to church. That's something we do on a weekly basis. But no, on vacation, we don't do that. And then everything goes out the window.
Okay, let's be honest though.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah, we do that, but most people don't.
Okay.
And to add to that, and I just had a little bit of a brain misfire here.
Brain fart. Just a little toot out of the brain.
But and then what do you hear when you come back? You're on the drive home. Oh, I feel so gross. The diet starts tomorrow. I feel so gross, and you end the vacation.
Yeah,
and your brain is all
mush,
jumbled mush, and it's like, I don't know. For me, I do the same habits. I experience things.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm just strict that way, and I don't like to. Maybe other people want to have fun. People say it all the time. Oh, I want to eat more because it's more fun.
You say you stay in the same habits, and I understand what you do on vacation because I've been on vacation with you, but you aren't in the same habits as home because you're not working. So the difference between you.
Do you work every day at home?
I work every day at home.
You work 7 days a week.
I work 5 days a week at home, and 2 days a week. Do
you get out? Do you get out of your habits on Saturday, Sunday?
No, because I have different habits for Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So, like on a vacation, every day is Saturday, Sunday. Right. So when you look at it from that point of view, you going on a hike during your vacation, when you're in Calgary, you're climbing a mountain, you're not doing that on Thursday afternoon here.
No.
Right. So you do get out of your routines and out of your habits, but you try to maintain the same healthy routines, I can say.
Yeah.
You will eat the same breakfast, you will, do similar habits in terms of exercise and all of that kind of stuff, but you are out of routine. And I think the biggest thing when we get back into routine when we get home is back into the work routine, because you are now in the position where you're no longer getting the free time all the time. You've got to work, right? So you got to get back into that mode.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I guess you're correct.
Yeah. The one thing I think that is the main factor is the length of vacations that we go on. When we go on a vacation for 3 days on a guy's trip, those 3 days we may get away from work, but it's kind of like a weekend where we're getting away from work. Whereas when we go away for 2 weeks, that's when you start falling out of the work habits that you have.
And that goes to the person that says you should never go for over like 3 weeks, right? Because you're getting out of those habits, what you're saying.
Who's these people that go for 3 week vacations?
I told you, when it's 7.5
Yeah, you
A
did.
lot of people, when they retire, they go to. I'm working painting for a customer that's gone to Arizona for 4 months.
Yeah, but they're working there probably.
No, they retired.
Oh, retired. So
Lots of retired people. There are senior
No.
citizens that live and vacation all the
so
time.
a retired vacation is much different than us going on vacation. They're not working here either. They're just living off the dollar from whatever they
Living the
made.
dream.
They're living the dream,
Yeah.
enjoying their
That's
lives.
fair.
So when they go to Arizona, let's say they have the habits here of, going out with friends during the week, or, playing backgammon or whatever they
They can maintain
do,
those
shuffleboard.
Yeah.
They go to Arizona, they may create new habits of new things that they do there. But like for us, like the one thing that we always do when we're on vacation is we find a church that we want to go to and we'll research it. I know that me and you will research a lot of times what church we're going to go to when we're out, because it's something that's part of our routine.
Yeah.
And I think personally, it's kind of like exercising, right? But it's exercising for your brain and for your mind as opposed to exercising for your body.
Yeah, and we are gone to Minneapolis. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, but we're gone this upcoming weekend and the weekend following, and we have the same church in Minneapolis that we go to. It's called River Valley Church. You've been there as well. I think you enjoy it as well.
Ben and Bella.
Ben and Bella. I love Ben and Bella. Anyway,
you shout them out. Shout them out. See if they watch.
Bella.
Ben and Bella from River Valley, Apple Valley location.
Anyway, and then we were gone. We were at Elkhorn Resort the previous weekend too. So we're not going to be going to our church for 3 straight weekends. So I said, well, let's watch River Valley so we can go to 3 straight weeks, basically. Right? So we watched that online.
And then you'll be able to see next week's online this week, and so on and so on.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I personally, I think I try to keep those habits. And you're right, I can't keep. You have different habits, but the two biggest thing is church attendance and dietary habits. And exercise. One, two, three. Right. So, but people feel the need to get out of those 3 things. Let's put them down to only those 3.
Yeah.
And some people don't go to church and they don't believe it. That's fine. They have their own thing they believe. But for us, it's those 3 things. And I try to do all 3.
Faith and health, right? Those are the two main things that you want to maintain.
And for me, those things increase my enjoyment of a vacation. People will say, well, you're not, it's not as fun if you're not eating that piece of cheesecake or that 3-scoop ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
Right. And that's to them.
I'll say that.
To them, that's fun. To me, running across the Brooklyn, or the Brooklyn Bridge or the Golden State Bridge in San Francisco, that to me is fun.
Yeah.
So, and it aids in my.
And it's the same thing for other people. Like they have more fun by going out to a certain restaurant. I like to do both. I would do the Brooklyn Bridge, not running, walking,
right?
Because I'm not as much of a runner as you are.
You run.
I run, but I don't run as much as I can't run as far as you can.
I tried to get you to do the 5 Mile Club, and you wouldn't. You wouldn't do it.
I did not get into that. And then the other thing would be like the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Oh, weakness. As soon as we go down to the States, that's a weakness of mine.
So to our American listeners, I've been to the Cheesecake Factory.
Our American listeners probably do not like Cheesecake Factory as much as we do.
Whoa.
It's like
no.
It's like the Olive Garden for us.
No.
Yeah,
people love the Cheesecake Factory. Sorry.
I think tourists love the Cheesecake Factory.
No. I think that people. It's not a tourist. It's not Times Square. It's where the locals say it's a tourist.
I'm gonna show you later. There's a video to talk about like these top places you can't go on a date.
Anyway, I've been to the Cheesecake Factory, I want to say 50 times. I ate the exact same menu item.
Yeah, Thai chicken wraps.
Thai lettuce chicken wraps.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm going to have it.
Frick, I know you too much. You can't do 2 truths and a lie with me. I know too much about you.
I can make stuff.
Yeah, you could probably make stuff up.
Yeah.
You're pretty alive.
Anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And I think maybe out there we could
Let's ask the question to people. So this will be the question then.
Yeah.
A, what is your ideal length of a vacation?
Okay.
And B, when you go on vacation, do you throw your habits to the wind and get back into them when you get home? Or do you stick with habits and stick with good habits while you're gone?
Yep.
Does that work?
Yeah.
That's for you. I can still see them.
Adam.
Still not in a creepy way.
Put on some clothes, Adam.
Yeah, like what are you
Adam,
doing?
put on some clothes.
You're driving, for crying out loud. Anyway, we're going to close off the show here today with another favorite of Timothy's, if he can ever relax.
Oh.
If I didn't cut that part out of the show, if I don't cut, if I do cut that part of the show, people will not understand why you're laughing. So I might have to keep it.
That's so funny. You have to keep that in the show. You have to keep that in the show.
So Tim, tell me
Oh.
a show growing up that you would rush home from school to see.
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies will do. Or the Care Bears.
We're gonna have to go with Muppet Babies.
It was on Saturday morning, so I guess they wasn't rushing home for it.
Yeah.
I love the Muppet Babies.
Huh?
Saturday morning cartoons, they were just so great. Like
Muppet
3-4
Babies.
hours, and you only had like 3 channels, but the Muppet Babies were my favorite.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show podcast. See you again next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Sharing is caring.